Tony.
Tony?
How are you?
I'm very good. The reason I asked you, what are you? Because Mr. Sorgente, are you the contact
No,
people?
I'm still with him.
You're civilian?
Yeah, I'm still with him.
Can we ask you to sit outside, sir?
No, he can't. Tony's with me.
Okay, well, we're meeting with you, sir.
Yeah, well, attorney-client privilege is mine to assert or waive, but Tony's part of my team.
Mm-hmm.
All right? You
But
have
we're-
your people, I have my person.
Right, but we also have a right to limit who we talk with.
Well, he's part of, you have, okay, so then are your investigators gonna leave?
No.
Well, then,
Is he an
you're not
investigator?
cooperating. Yeah, he is an investigator.
You are an investigator, sir?
Yeah.
Do you have a badge or credentials?
So what?
Do you have a badge or
You want my
credentials?
license? You want license number, you can check it.
Look, what's the problem? This is part of my defense team. What's the problem? You
I
got
do
your
private
team.
security, private investigation, so I can give you my license number.
That's great.
I should have card.
Yeah, that'd be great. Why don't we?
You want my license number? But, I mean, I should be able to sit in regardless. I mean, he has that right, like you said. It's his privilege. It's not yours, right? It's his.
Right,
is
and
my
that's-
privilege.
And that's why he's speaking with us.
So
but-
anything that you share with me, I share with my defense team.
And that's not the issue, sir. It's a security issue. We don't know who you are.
Okay, I'm not gonna do anything. I don't know what that means.
I'm not saying you're a threat, sir. I'm just
Okay.
saying.
I don't know who you
I'm not
guys
saying
are.
you're a threat,
I'm
sir.
sorry.
It's just that we
Well,
don't
we're
know who
police
you are.
officers, so.
Okay,
We
well,
had no
I'm a
notice of you
citizen.
coming. We don't
Okay.
have any of your information. If you'd like to go to the truck and get your information and bring it
Yeah,
back,
I got a
please do
business
so.
card.
You know what, maybe,
Please do so.
maybe we should just do this another day.
No, well, do you want to do it a different day?
It's gonna be the same thing. We'll be doing the same exact thing we're doing now.
But, I mean, we're on a time constraint, aren't we? All right, do you have time to do that, Tony?
I got a business card.
All right. All right, I'll wait for you.
Let me get it. But I think at the same time, on principle alone, it's important to state your case. That I should be able to say, even if I was an investigator, I mean, I shouldn't have to prove who I am.
I mean,
he's
if
a
I'm allowed to go
prosecutor.
pro per,
That's
and I'm a layman, aren't I allowed the right to have whoever I deem fit to be helping me in my defense?
Yeah, show us the law where I'm not allowed, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. We can sit outside.
It just
could
seems,
sit
it seems
outside.
arbitrary.
Security's an issue, right?
We could sit
can in the
outside,
lobby.
except that it's raining.
Okay,
Would
we
you
can
like to
sit
go
in-
outside?
We can sit in the lobby.
Go outside and talk, or
Yeah, I
what?
don't
Sure.
care.
All right, let's do that.
Let's do that.
All right, sounds good to me.
Sure.
Yeah, we're not going.
All right.
Why don't we go out of the way so that the doors are not
Coming in and out.
Yeah, maybe
do you
we
wanna
have
go?
to go. Actually, why don't we go over there?
Sure.
And your name is again?
Investigator Joanne Brown.
Joanne Brown, okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, I'm a friend of his, I just happen to be in the business, so that's just, you know, yeah, I just happen to be. I don't think you even bring it up.
So, Mr. Sorgente, we're here today because I wanted you to get a chance to tell us what discovery you think you're missing.
Okay, so the federal prosecutor has been in contact with Detective Angel, and he has an image of me that was taken by a individual at the scene named Jesus, who's one of the three gentlemen that were not so gentle and showed up at the scene of 17th and Bristol with brass knuckles. And this individual is on video recording me, and the screenshot that the federal prosecutor has, which I got in discovery, is an image of Jesus's video. So one of your three victims, allegedly, three victims, not Luis or Trinidad, but the third one, was actually recording at the scene. And he has an image of this far away from me to you, recording me. And that's been disseminated across the internet. It's made it into the federal record. You probably will be hearing from my federal defense attorney if we don't get any action, because they're going to want to know where that came from.
Do you have a federal defense attorney?
I do have a federal defense attorney. But what I want to say is, before I trouble him, because he's got better things to do than dicker around with like Santa Ana cases. We're doing things in DC. So before I go there with him, we've already discussed it lightly, but I would just like to give you the opportunity to provide this exculpatory evidence potentially, because if Jesus is on the witness list and he's one of the 3 alleged victims and he recorded the incident, why is that not part of the discovery? Why has that not been entered into the evidence? It took me 2 years just to get Jesse Perez's video entered into your understanding and record and evidence. And Jesse Perez's video, as your investigator confirmed, shows my alleged victim with brass knuckles. And I want to let you know something.
Is that the video you gave us?
That is the video I gave you. And your investigator said clear as day, those are brass knuckles. So if Jesse Perez's video shows brass knuckles, which are a felony to possess, a felony to brandish, and a felony to use in an assault, that's 3 felonies. Why did that take 2 years to get into the court record? Does that make sense?
Okay, so if I understand it correctly, you want a video from Jesus that's available on the internet?
The image of the video is available on the internet, but
Image of the video?
Excuse me?
The image of the video?
An image of the video, an image that can only be taken from Jesus's phone, is available on the internet and is also in the federal record of my case.
So you believe there's an image of a video on the internet?
Jesus was walking around with his phone filming, and that's shown on the videos that you do have.
And that's the video you want?
And I want the video from Jesus's phone.
Available on the internet?
It has been available on the images of that video have been available on the internet, and they've been disseminated wildly and widely.
Okay, what else?
I also,
It should be on his phone too, right?
it should be on his phone, and if he deleted, I want to know why.
Yep.
Why did he delete that? Because if he's a victim at an incident where they allege that they were attacked by people, why would he delete that? That's indication of guilt, right?
Okay,
Well,
so what else?
what else? Well, that's a start, but I've been emailing your investigators. I want, Detective Angel claims that we had a conversation
On the phone?
on the phone. I want the notes from that conversation. I want the recording, because he told me he recorded that conversation. I want the recording from that conversation. And I want even the phone records from that conversation. Date, time, all that. Because that's part of the state's obligation under Brady. And whatever is in Detective Angel's possession,
Paperwork's going to get wet. You have to zip it up.
whatever's in Detective Angel's possession should be provided to me.
So you had that you remember having a conversation with him,
Oh,
right?
very well, yeah,
Okay.
and documented, yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Well, that's a good start. I think those are 2 major accomplishments. If we can accomplish those things.
So one thing I want to suggest, Mr. Sorgente, is because you're representing yourself, we kind of have to do things mostly on the record.
Would you like me to file a motion to compel?
I think that would be great. If you could file a motion, a discovery motion, that way just listing out exactly what you want and need so it's clear what the request is. We can have a judge help us decide whether there's anything to give you or what you're entitled to.
Well, I'm entitled to it all.
Put that in your motion. So I would suggest that to you, Mr. Sorgente. I mean, we have a prelim coming up in, 3 weeks or so?
Is it the 12th of April?
Something like that?
Yeah. I mean, you know, at the pace things are going, it doesn't look like we'll be ready. It doesn't look like we'll be ready, does it?
I can be ready. It's up to
Well,
you.
you're not ready until you provide all discovery.
Put that in your motion, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, put that in your motion, and then a judge can kind of help us decide. That way, I feel like it'll be to your satisfaction. I mean, in the end, the judge gets to decide, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
Yeah.
the law is the law, right?
The law is the law. Is there anything else you can think of that I can start looking into now?
Anything else I can think of?
That is going to go into your motion that I can start working on now?
Well, I mean, you're interested in finding truth, right?
Of course.
Okay, so I have an IT expert who's pretty handy with digital, and she went ahead and digitally enhanced the video that I gave you, frame by frame, and she actually found that your alleged victim, Trinidad, had a knife in his left hand, his gloved hand. So he had brass knuckles in his right hand with no glove, and in his left hand, he had a blade with no handle, but a glove. He was wearing a glove. So she discovered that. So he didn't come at me with just one weapon, but two. So perhaps you want to look into that. I would also like to ask you for the rap sheet of Trinidad and Luis. I would like also to ask you, which I think I've already asked in emails, but I would like to ask you for their gang affiliation, because I have indication that they are part of a gang. And so I want any past or present information on their gang. If Spitzer has had them taken off the gang injunction list, I want record of when they were in the gang and when they were taken off the gang injunction list. Because I understand that 3 of them were taken off the gang injunction list. And I know the name of their gang. It's a Santa Ana gang. So,
What do you think the name is?
Lowell Street Sinners.
Los Street?
Lowell. Lowell Street Sinners. And that's why Luis had the devil horn tattoos on his forehead. The individual Luis. Devil, like, the blue ink. Unless he gets those removed, I guess we'll be seeing him in court if he ever shows up with his devil horn tattoos and his Lowell Street Sinners background. Right? That's a Sereno gang. Are you familiar with Serenos?
I've heard of it,
Yeah, I mean, I would think so, right?
Yeah.
Southside SA gangbangers. All right.
Okay, so anything else?
Well, I think I've given you a lot right now. We'll play it by ear and see where we go with this.
Well, the reason I ask, I mean, again, we're here, we're meeting. I know, I'm sorry, it's raining, but had you given us some advance notice, we would have been able to take care of this on the meet inside. Okay, so I apologize for this,
Yeah.
but we're here, we're
good.
meeting. I want to give you the full opportunity to tell me because, again, there's an interest in moving the case along. So if I can start working on some stuff,
Yeah, we're not going to move it along until we get all our ducks in a row.
which is what I'm trying to ask you
Yeah.
for.
I
So
have a
is there
question,
anything
though.
else?
So with everything going on in the state, all the crime and violence and, problems with the budget, how and why is the state, the county, why are they so hell-bent on prosecuting a man for defending people that were attacked by a man with brass knuckles and possibly a knife? Pictures there, the evidence is there, everyone sees it. Everybody that has seen it says it's insanity, and this case should have been closed day one. I mean, you're going to lose. So I'm just wondering why you waste tax money in a case like this. And this guy's a hero. He's the guy you would have in your house for dinner and to protect your family. And the other guy is the guy you probably call the police on and have arrested. So, yeah, it just looks bad. So,
You guys grew up together?
I know his character, I know his heart. And, he's got a lot of support. He's got a ton of supporters. And,
You haven't seen a packed courtroom yet.
Well, hey, you know what? The weather is kind of shortening our meeting even more, so
did you have an answer for that, or no?
today's meeting is about it.
You don't want to answer? Okay.
Today's a
Okay.
I mean, you could
Yeah.
talk with someone about
Yeah.
political and philosophical.
No, it's not political at all. It's reality. So, I was just going to bring that up.
Did she say politics?
No, yeah.
What's political?
Yeah.
You said
Well,
political?
you just said about everything going on in the state, right? You're the one
State
that said
violence. I'm talking about violence.
You're talking about violence. Violence shouldn't be a political
Violence,
issue.
that's
Violence
what
should
it
be
is.
a
Violence.
matter of law.
Violence.
Law and order. I don't see that as political.
Mrs. Sorgente, let's try to keep it on task.
I am.
Yeah.
We're talking about the law.
Yeah.
Anything else?
The law. Brass knuckles are a felony.
Today's meeting is not about the law.
It's not about the law.
Defend him. Don't defend the guy with the brass knuckles.
Don't get political, Tony.
That's not That's not political.
The brass knuckles party, Tony.
Well, I would think you seem like a nice person, and that would be something I think, you could live in peace with. Putting him away, I think, prosecuting a man like that is a problem. Anyway, thanks for your time. You done?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Thank you.
There's nothing else?
Appreciate it. Stay safe
I
out
think
there.
I've given you a whole lot.
Is there anything else?
You know what?
Look at this.
I'm sleeping in my car. The state has rendered me incapacitated, and I think I've given you more than like the average person could expect.
No, this is not. What I'm asking for is if you have any discovery requests. Is there anything else that you are requesting
Discovery
from us
requests?
that you feel you do not have?
So
that you're entitled to?
if I find something in yeah, I would like to get all of the police interactions with Nancy Horn, all the record of what happened with Nancy Horn. She was at the time a 62-year-old kindergarten teacher that was assaulted by one of the alleged victims, and I would like to get all of that, what you have as far as, because the police did send cars to her house. A policeman did talk with her and tell Nancy Horn that he was sitting across the street and he saw the whole thing. So,
Wait, Nancy Horn sat across the street and saw the whole thing? Or
no, Nancy Horn was there.
Oh.
Nancy Horn came to the event after Mass.
Got it.
And Nancy Horn was a 62-year-old kindergarten teacher from Santa Ana who was assaulted prior to my interaction with Luis and Trinidad.
Assaulted by Luis and Trinidad?
She was assaulted, and she was able to keep her flag despite the attempt of a strong arm robbery. They tried to rip her flag from her, but she held on to it, all 98 pounds of her. So that constitutes an assault, because when she held on to it, it violently shook her body. And this is a 62-year-old woman. So the police investigated Nancy Horn because it was alleged that she had used her flag as a weapon, which she had not. That was just like a false narrative that was put out there to probably deflect from the actual criminals in this case. So there was a police officer that was at her house. She has had interaction with law enforcement because of this incident. And Nancy Horn was put up for a disciplinary hearing, which she was found not to be in any wrong. But the fact of the matter is Nancy Horn was investigated more than the guys with the brass knuckles and weapons and whatnot. So we kind of live in an inversion right now. I mean,
But she was there during the incident.
she was there during the incident, but namely, police have interacted with Nancy Horn. Police, I believe she said an officer by the name of Henry.
Henry?
Is there a name Henry in any of these records? Because Henry, according to Nancy Horn, told her, "Don't worry, you're gonna be fine. I was sitting across the street, I saw the whole thing."
Do you want us to talk with Nancy Horn and get her statement?
Yeah.
Do you have her contact info? Or do you want to think
I
about
think that the public defender that was assigned originally, like 2 years ago,
it? Yeah.
probably has her contact info. I believe a public defender did try and talk to her.
But you don't have it?
I'd have to go digging. I mean, at some point, I have the means to like bring in, I mean, there are 50 people there. I have the means to bring in people that were assaulted by these guys. I have the means to bring in a woman that was punched in the back and thought her ribs were broken by the rings. And that's her word because she's from Mexico and she doesn't know the term brass knuckles. But she yelled in Spanish, "What'd you do that for? Why you hit me?" And that's what she told me. And so there's a lot of witnesses in this. And I don't know why you don't have them. I don't know why you as a prosecutor wouldn't be privy to this, because
well, it sounds like you do, though. So if you can provide them to us.
Well, yeah, I can, and I'm sure the police know them too, and they're on your team. You're working in hand with Detective
But
Angel,
you
right?
want us to hear what they have to say, right?
Yeah, that's sort of their purpose. Sort of
So you want me to do? I mean, I can bring it to court at some point, or I can bring it. It's going to take me time.
Yeah.
It's
Why
going to take
don't
me
you
time.
compile a list of the people that you'd like us to talk with some contact information?
Yeah, all right. It's going to take some time, but we'll do that. We got an agreement on that. Compile a list. I'll do that. I'll compile a list of witnesses for you.
Okay. And contact information. That way, we can talk with.
You
these
realize though that
individuals.
I'm also doing something at the federal building, Ronald Reagan. I got cases there.
I have 26 other cases myself,
Yeah.
so I understand.
So you are.
It does take some multitasking.
And yeah, all right. And I'm also, for my job, like, I'm working in production.
Okay.
So like we have a meeting today. We're working on a mini doc. So at some point this will probably be in the storyline, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Well, Tony, your witness is going to compile a list of people with contact information that we should talk about for the picture of the story. So, that'd be great.
Yeah. Give a card.
Not yet, sir. It's in progress.
Yeah.
Maybe in about a couple
He's
weeks.
new to the
Are you
case.
new or what?
Yeah, so I've been emailing you. So once I get my card, I'll let you know.
change it.
So what happened to Kurt Jacoby?
He went to a different assignment.
So he's no longer on this case?
No, I'm the new guy on the case.
Okay. And let me think, who else?
So next time we'll come, we'll bring a lot of that stuff, with us.
All right. Sounds good.
Okay?
You got a break in the weather, guys.
Yeah, thank you
Let's
very
do
much.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Keep in touch, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. We'll see you.
You need anything? Send me anything that email.
Yeah, I did send you, I think, 1 or 2 emails this morning,
Yes.
kind of going over what we went over.
Yes, and he has it now.
We're over here, Tony. All right. I think so.
You're fine, right?
I was.
Good job.
You know, sometimes in the heat of the moment, like something happens, like,
really well. It was funny with dragging around in the fucking rain. That's hilarious.
yep, 21 minutes. I got it recorded.
Drag their asses out in the rain. That's fucking great.
Give me a good job.
You what?
Give me a good job.
Good job. Good job. Right?
Amen.